October 26th, and if you are a sicko like us here, then you're going to have plenty of opportunity for bets here in tonight's slate. As we had the Frozen Frenzy the other night, 16 games, 32 teams playing. We roll into tonight here with 11 games on the NHL schedule. So we'll get into all of those. We'll get into our best bets, as it looks like we might have an opportunity for 9 picks here plus in tonight's games. 9 plus picks in tonight's games. So we'll get into all of those. We'll break those down, why we like them, what we like, maybe some numbers that we're looking for, as some of the market is moving on some of it. But before we get into all of that, I want to remind people that today's show is sponsored by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is by using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, whether it be for games, futures, or player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet, so make sure to download the app today. As well, if you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/edgework. You can click the link in the description as well. YouTube, podcast, however you consume this show here, or just go to your browser and type in betstamp.app/edgework. If you do sign up through this page, it does help support the show. Now, guys, lots of games ahead of us here today. We only had one on the schedule last night, but Matt, it was one that you were close to playing, ended up deciding to go against, and then kind of everything you were looking for in that game came to fruition, and it was one that we had stayed off of. Take us through last night's Washington Devils game.
Yeah, so obviously yesterday we talked about being close to the over. It's also no secret I've been on the Capitals a few times. Again, part of it just being they had such a low shooting percentage. Like, those things do just tend to even themselves out very quickly. I mean, there was an example last week of I bet Seattle against Colorado. They had a shooting percentage of 2 at even strength at the time. Like, obviously you're going to score a few goals when it gets to that point. Got what I thought was a good price against the Avs. They go out, they control a large part of the game. Obviously they end up losing. I think it was 4-1. The next game, they're getting something like plus 110 against Carolina, and I think the market views Colorado and Carolina relatively similar. So obviously I stayed off that. They go out and put up 7 goals. Well, the Capitals now are kind of the same thing, right? Like, was on them the other night against Toronto. They played well. They lost. Last night, I was very close to playing the Capitals. I said, you know what, like, New Jersey's going to come out and pump them. Like, they got a rookie goalie in. It's very hard to kind of know how teams are going to play in front of a goalie making their first career start. Some of them are just going to pack it in. Some are going to say, hey, we need to score a bunch of goals. Was thinking, all right, this may last one more game. Was eyeing Friday at home against Minnesota, who's the team I'm generally looking to fade right now. And they go out and they put up 6. So these are kind of getting corrected very quickly. But yeah, seeing that game go over, I think at the 9:59 mark of the second, and then obviously the Caps getting the win was, it's frustrating to see, especially after like kind of being on some of that stuff and then it just not coming to fruition with the price.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, I don't know if this is going to make you feel any better or any worse, but Connor Hurdle saying, plan on playing Timo Meier over 0.5 points last night, forgot. An idiot. You weren't the only one who forgets to hit submit, Alber. There you go. I mean,
yeah, I deserve that after the Philly Vegas fiasco the other night. I deserved that. So I did not forget to hit submit on every pick that lost, just to be clear. But I did forget to hit submit on one of the few winners.
Well, we'll get into today's games, and hopefully everyone's having as good of a morning here as Podegen Stoner, who seems pretty fired up for some hockey prop bets and 11 games on the schedule here tonight. But Russ, we'll go to you. Podegen Stoner out there in Garden City, Colorado, and tonight we're looking to get behind the Colorado Avalanche on the road here, taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're seeing Colorado right now minus 130, Pittsburgh plus 124, best price. See the total here in this game sitting at 6.5. But Russ, what is it that you're liking tonight about the Avalanche in this matchup against Penguins?
This is probably the squarest play of the day for me, but I think this number is a little bit short on the Avs. Minus 130 is what we played. Yeah, it looks like it's staying right around there. There's obviously a few square books that are closer to 145 or so. That's actually where I think it should probably be priced. I think the number's staying down a little bit because of the possibility of Georgiev having the night off. So I think that's keeping this number down a little bit. And just the fact that everybody's thinking that the Avs have to lose at some point, right? But no, I mean, we talked about it last week a little bit. This Avs team is just playing absolutely unbelievable. Georgiev's first in expected goals above goals saved above expectation. Sorry about that. And he should be going against Tristan Jarry on the other side, who is 54th in goals saved above expectation. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Pitt's underlying numbers don't look that bad when you dig into some of the things under the hood. They're just getting quite unlucky, but some of these losses you can't go away from. They've lost to the Blues, lost to the Blackhawks. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, and I think this Avs team showing they're one of the best teams in the league, and they're one of the Stanley Cup favorites for a reason. Man, they're 28 goals for, 12 goals against. Just both ends of the ice are playing great hockey. So I just think this number is a little bit short. Like I said, probably a very, very square play on my end, and I'm hoping that we don't get Provosov in here to back up, and hoping we go back to the hot hand and Georgiev. But even if we do, I think this Avs team can take on a Pitt team who's struggling, and I think it was Moretto or one of the other guys on the show who was very, very low on Pittsburgh coming into this year. And if you would have, just blindly bet against them, you'd be doing very well since they're sitting at 2-4. So, yep, it's Avs for me. Like I said, I think even if we get the backup goalie in net for the Avs, its number will probably go down. So you could probably wait and bet it, or you could bet it right now. Even if Georgiev gets confirmed, it probably won't move that much. So yeah, minus 130 on the Avs is a little bit short for me, but that's the number I like.
Well, Russ, there, your stopping point on that number, what would it be if it continued to move out? We did see some of those books we pulled up on screen on BetStamp there past 130. 130 is available, so we did lock it in at that, but there's 130, 135s pushing up to 140, as you mentioned, out to 145. You're thinking it should be closer to 145. Where's the cutoff line for you where you say, like, all right, I'm not betting it past this anymore?
Yeah, just checking my numbers here. If we do get Georgiev, I would bet it all the way up to minus 142 or so. So minus 140, probably the cutoff for me. It's a little bit different. If we get Provasev, the backup, then I probably am thinking closer to minus 135 or so. Which I think will be widely available. I do expect that number to go down if Georgiev is not announced in. So, I don't expect this number to balloon out. I'm already seeing some resistance in the market. We bet it yesterday, and the numbers just kind of staying there. So I know that there's some people that that think this is a good spot for the Penguins at home to kind of bounce back. But I just think this Avs team is too good.
All right, there you go. So we'll track that one in. I want minus 130 there. And you can follow along with all these picks on the BetStamp app as Edgework HQ in the Find Better section. So make sure to check that out. Now, Matt, I mean, you've got it on your title there. It says, I apologize in advance. Got a lot of picks from you here today. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get disgusting right away. We're going chronological order of the slate. We'll go through some of the 7 o'clock games here. I'm not going to take this one away from you. I'll just say Boston, Anaheim. We're looking there first and foremost. What are the bets that you're looking at in this game?
Man, I feel like I need Matt Russell's little video here before I do this. I'm on the Ducks. I played it earlier this morning. It's mostly puck line, a little bit of money line. Sorry to pull up the pressure real quick. I think I got the puck line at plus 108 and the money line at plus 275. I can't tell exactly what the best available is. Looks like minus or plus 100 and plus 260.
Plus 107 on plus 107 on the plus 1.5 and plus 268 on the money line.
Yeah, I still think those are fine. So I have it for a unit total. Again, I kind of touched on it the other day where I think there's going to be some chances to fade the Bruins coming up. They've played a very bad string of teams to start the year. Obviously, they've beaten them all, but their underlying metrics are okay. Like, a lot of them are actually very average. They've gotten, obviously, elite goaltending because they have very good goaltenders. Anaheim's been a lot better than I think most people have expected so far this year. Obviously, they're 2-4, but they've played a pretty good string of teams, too. They played Vegas. They played Boston already. They've played Arizona. I'm missing somebody else right now off the top of my head. But they've actually played pretty well so far. Gibson's kind of having a good start to the year. They're generating a good amount of offense. I just don't have them. Sorry, I just don't have them priced as a San Jose, Chicago bottom tier level team that I think the market is doing right now. And again, with the Bruins, I don't have. I can't get close to this number, frankly. I thought this was going to be somewhere around Boston minus 240. I hate it. It's gross. The Ducks aren't going to score. My issue for this is like the Ducks have been very poor on special teams, kind of on both sides to start the year. Like they're generating very little on their own power plays, and they're shorthanded a decent amount, and that certainly is a concern of mine. But yeah, this is just a price thing. I just can't get to this number. So yeah, I'm on the Ducks. Quack quack.
Okay. Well, we'll track that for those wondering at home. We track the two plus 1.5 and at plus 107 and the money line there at plus 268. We go 3/4 unit on the plus 1.5 and a quarter unit there on plus 268. So for this reference, $75 on the plus 1.5, $25 on the money line there.
Yeah. So really quick, just to that kind of point. I know a lot of people when they do the puck line money line split, like they'll do half and half all the time. I know some people do 75-25, 80-20. I think it's just a matter of personal preference, honestly. For me personally, I just kind of like doing it that way to where if like the game's close, you still kind of get something. I'm not going to give some, this is exactly what models spit out. It's just kind of a personal preference. And for me, that's kind of just something I like to do.
Yep. Russ, where are you at on us backing Anaheim here tonight? Is this as
disgusting I think
as it feels?
No, I think the puck line is a great play, especially at plus money. Even though the Anaheim Ducks are 2-4, they've kept most of their games have been fairly close, and they want to play kind of a low scoring, low event game. They're 4-2 on the puck line so far this year, and I think Boston's the exact same way. They don't generate tons of chances, and they play really good defense. So I could easily see this game being a 1-goal game either way. So I like the puck line. I'm with you on that one.
All right, well, let's go to a game here that I know both
Sorry,
of you
Zach.
guys.
Sorry, Zach, to cut you off real quick. So the string of teams I was looking for Anaheim, it was Vegas, Dallas, Carolina, Boston, Arizona, and Columbus. And they've actually been a top half team in a lot of metrics. So that's certainly kind of a good set of teams to have kind of looked pretty well against so far. Obviously, these teams played Sunday. Like at 5-on-5, Anaheim was the better team. It was scoreless after 2. Boston obviously got a few goals in the third, but that was a very tightly contested game that Anaheim did play very well. And then if you like narratives, you can obviously look at this from the aspect of the Bruins just got done with a long road trip and now they're back home. But obviously that's kind of factored in already.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, for those watching, if you haven't already, hit that like button here on today's stream. Make sure to subscribe here to the Edge Work HQ YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you get notified every single time we go live. We got plenty of games here left to go through, plenty of picks left to go through, but we'll go now to a game that I know both of you guys have picks in, so both the opportunity to speak on this one. We're looking at the Philadelphia Flyers at home tonight taking on the Minnesota Wild. Philly currently sitting plus 105 and Minnesota minus 114 here. Total sitting at 6 across majority of books here now that we're looking at. Russ, you're looking to get behind a team here tonight. Which side of the Flyers-Wild matchup are you looking to get behind?
Yep. So we've talked about the Wild, fading the Wild team a couple of times already this year, and I think this is a perfect spot to do it. So we took the Flyers at home plus 110-ish. I think, I would play it right at plus 105, but that number probably will move throughout the day depending on who's confirmed in goal. I'm hoping that we get Carter Hart, obviously, for the Flyers. If not, I think this number will move significantly. But I'm all right playing 105. On the flip side of the puck, it doesn't really matter between Gustafsson and Fleury for me. Both of these guys have struggled this year. We bet against Fleury a ton last year for good reason. He's just absolutely playing awful to start this year. But Gustafsson's actually not any better. 41st in goals saved above expectations. He's allowed 16 goals in 4 games. This Wild team is just not even middling. They're actually bottom of the league in a lot of their stats. And this Flyers team is kind of getting priced like they are bottom of the league team. Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you, Tyler. Hart confirmed. That's probably why the number's dipping a little. But, yeah, I still love it at plus 105. yeah, like I said, the Minnesota 27th in expected goals against, 26th in expected goals for. They're just not generating any pressure on the net at all. I think this number might be priced a little incorrectly just because of the people remember that last game between Edmonton Oilers and the Wild, where the Oilers actually played pretty well the first two periods and then somehow just completely shit the bed in the third period. And ended up, giving up what 4 goals or so. So I think that some people have that in mind, and I just think this price is completely wrong. I actually think that the Flyers should be a favorite here at home against a bad Minnesota Wild team. So, yep, it's a basic numbers play. I like plus 105 if you can still get it. Probably play this all the way down to Flyers minus 110 is kind of, I have it a little bit higher than that, but that's probably where I would cut it off. But anything plus money on the Flyers is a good play in my eyes.
All right, there you go. You got this one all the way through minus 110. Russ saying this one's good too here. Currently plus 105. You got this one widely available. And again, make sure to sign up for the BetSamp app to make sure you line shop and get the best price, because there are some books out there that are already into minus money. You're seeing minus 108s at some of these shops, but you can look around and get plus 100, plus 104, plus 105 at majority. Matt, you also have a play here, filling the role of Moretto totals here today. Which side of the puck are you looking at? Over 6, under 6? Which way are we leaning here?
Yeah, so first of all, I do like the Philly play. I didn't play it myself. I was hoping for a slightly better price, obviously kind of given Minnesota's hot start. I may end up on this somewhere too, definitely at plus money now that Hart's confirmed. I think I value the Fleury Gustafsson difference less than the market does, so I kind of want to wait and see what that is. Hopefully jump on this play I'm about to give out right away if it's one goalie. I'm going back to Minnesota under. I think it's under 6 plus 100. Same thing. Just Minnesota's not generating a whole lot. They're at like 1.2 goals scored above expected so far. Like they're just capitalizing on every chance they have. At the same time, every puck's kind of ending up in the back of their net. Russ, you just touched on the fact that neither goalie from Minnesota is off to a very hot start. Like I do think both their goalies are better than they've played so far. Philly, on the other hand, they're just not allowing very much. So like they're near the top kind of as far as goals against expected are, because they've played pretty good defense to start the year. So I'm not really expecting a whole lot of pace out of this game. I like under 6. It stinks. I was on this against the Wild the other night, and there was like 75 goals in the third period. I thought this was going to be 6, more of 6 juiced under, like we're seeing, or like we're seeing in a couple other games right now. But yeah, again, just a price thing for me. I'm probably going to lose it again because the Wild scored 9 goals in every game. But
2-1 Flyers win is what we're looking for. 2-1 Flyers win. Yes.
There's a reason my thing says I apologize in advance. You know, we're like 5 minutes in and I've already said, hey, let's bet the Anaheim Ducks and let's bet the under in the highest scoring team in hockey.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's numbers. It's numbers dependent here, and we're taking best numbers that we can and what our numbers are telling us to go on. So we'll lock in both of those. Under 6 plus 105 in the Minnesota Philly game there. Lock that one in. Now, we do have a few more plays here to get to. Matt, I'm just going to go straight to you on this one. We're already just in the absolute swamp here, getting disgusting, and you're going to get disgusting again.
It's going to get more disgusting.
Let's go take a look at the San Jose Sharks. Let's hear what it is that you're looking at in the Sharks game here tonight against Tampa Bay Lightning. And what is it that could possibly be even the slightest bit attractive in this game to you?
You kind of gave it away and said that we're getting disgusting. Yeah, I'm on the Sharks. I can't even try to sound excited. This is strictly a numbers thing for me. So I was kind of looking at this last night, kind of saw this price and went, that's a really big price for Tampa to be laying. Like we've kind of talked about how Tampa, like they're getting decent goaltending from Johansson, but they're near the bottom in most expected goal metrics. Like this Tampa team's not really generating a whole lot. The other night, obviously they beat Carolina 3-0, but they did not generate a whole lot. It was not a great night for Kochekov, and obviously Johansson played great. I think they said it was the second shutout of his career. And you know what? Like maybe he is kind of being that average goalie that we had talked about earlier this year. This is strictly a numbers thing for me. It looks like someone else has also supported the Sharks this morning, as I actually played the puck line at plus 100 and the money line at plus 260, and it looks like that's starting to move a little bit. So whoever's joined me on the Sharks, like, be ready for pain. I can't give some spiel about how the Sharks have been good. The Sharks are a bad team. They're going to lose a lot of games this year. They got to win at some point, right? Like, and I just think this is, again, just too big of a price for Tampa to be laying, even at home against San Jose. I just don't see it. I don't, like, if that result the other night isn't 3-0 and Johansson doesn't shut the door, like, I don't think we see this price. Like, I was expecting, again, this is something I was expecting to see somewhere near Tampa minus 230.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too big. Go Sharks. But yeah, I can't even like try to say why the Sharks are a good play. Just this is just definitely more of a Tampa fade for me at this number. Again, I'm 75-25 on the puck line. But yeah, I just don't agree with Tampa being minus 300.
Fair enough. Well, we'll lock that in there. Okay, so we got plus 252 as money line best price. So we'll go the quarter unit on that one, and then the plus 1.5, plus 105 on San Jose. We go 3/4 unit there. Russ, any thoughts from you here in this backing of San Jose?
No, I don't have the cojones that the Mats do. That's for sure. But yeah, just looking into a couple of the numbers, like Alber said, my fair price on this is Tampa Bay minus 226. So it's right there, and where there is technically value on the Sharks if you can stomach it. I don't mind. Again, I don't mind the plus 1.5 at all. This Tampa team has just been atrocious. 32nd in the league in expected goals against. Now the issue there is San Jose is 31st in the league in expected goals against. So something's got to give here. And it probably, just looking at even those numbers, it probably means the market should be a little bit closer on these games. And obviously you're getting a huge discount just because of people know what the Lightning are, how they've been the last few seasons, whatever. So I think that's priced into the market as well. So, I mean, if I had to play it, a gun to my head, I would definitely lean the same way. Like I said, I like the plus 1.5 at plus money, and just bank on this hopefully being a close game or San Jose getting out to an early lead and something like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not gonna play the Lightning at this price. So
yeah, fair enough. Well, before we move on from this game, Matt, any final thoughts from yourself after these disgusting plays that you've given out here so far this morning?
Yeah, I think the only other thing with this one, and I saw someone say it in the chat, I do expect Capo Kakinen. I also think there's a chance that we may see, and right as I say this, Jonas Johansson first goalie off. I was just about to say I think there's a chance we see Matt Tompkins too. And literally as I went to say that, I see the tweet that it looks like it's going to be Johansson. I don't know. He's coming up shutout. He's coming up. I hate it. Let's move on. Like I can't get to this price, but I can't even make a case for why San Jose is worth a bet. Like they're bad. I don't think Tampa's very good either. And yeah, expecting maybe a little regression from Jonas Johansson here has been, again, very, very good to start the year, and maybe this is who he is. I think I'm willing to bet against him at plus 250.
Yep. Maybe, just maybe, he turns into the pumpkin tonight. Maybe.
Yep. We've bet against Jonas Johansson many, many times on this Thursday show.
Yeah, I mean, like, and here's the thing about it, right? Like, we kind of went into the year, we were talking about how he's just been terrible for a while, and we're kind of looking to get against Tampa. Like, I know we were on Nashville the first game of the year, and I know I had a little bit of caution into that due to the fact that he was pretty good last year, albeit in a limited sample. And then it was kind of like, if he can be like an average backup, like, this team is going to be like probably undervalued, and he's been better than that. So I think they were undervalued for a little bit. I think like we had a good price on them against Vancouver last week. I think at like minus 120 to go back to Vancouver, obviously. But it's like, I think we've maybe gone a little too far. And I think now this is maybe expecting a little much out of him to have this around minus 295 or wherever it is at this point. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's a good breakdown of what it is. It's not necessarily that San Jose is a team primed to get wins here. It's more just based on where the numbers at, and that it's time to make a play on that. Now, I'll go back to you here, Matt, on this next game, just because we're looking at a total, and it seems as though we've got some confirmation on player being in. Now, I'm more just curious about your thoughts on where this game total currently sits at, and I bet that you were looking at going into it. The Winnipeg Jets, Detroit Red Wings game total lined at 6.5 right now. I was seeing there, you said it looks like the brinket is in. Where are we at here based on the play you were looking at going into this game and versus where it's at now based on some of the information that we found out?
Yeah, so I like the under. DeBrincat being in obviously makes me like it a little bit less. I know we already have confirmation that it's going to be James Reimer tonight. I think I'm still going to play this if it's Connor Hellebuck, albeit it'll be like a half play at this point.
Right.
Detroit, we talked about. I think their shooting metrics are just very unsustainable moving forward. I know it was talked about the other day. Winnipeg, on the other hand, I think Connor Hellebuck is probably due for some positive regression. I mean, he's too good of a goalie, and he has not had a great start to the year. So, yeah, again, this is just kind of a numbers thing for me. Anything kind of 6.5 minus 110 if we get Hellebuck, I think is good. I'm kind of watching TweetDeck as we speak because it looks like it's going to be coming relatively soon. But yeah, I think this is just a fate of the Detroit offense. Again, I think they've been so good to start the year, but we just talked about the fact that it's not overly sustainable. I mean, they're
Right.
about a goal scored of more than expected right now over the first, I think, 6 games that they've played. It's just more of a Detroit's going to come back down to earth at some point. We've talked about that. I just I can't get to Winnipeg at this price. Like, I do think this should probably be closer to a pick 'em. But yeah, I definitely lean to the under a little bit here if we do get Connor Hellebuck.
Okay, so stay off as of right now, but you get Connor Hellebuck, play the minus 110 on the under 6.5 there. And then, Matt, how far would you be willing to go with that if you do get that confirmation?
Yeah, that would just be a small play. I think up to minus 115. It was going to be a
Okay.
full unit play if we didn't have DeBrincat, obviously being the hot start that he's off to, but where it does look like he's going to play, that was a significant change for me.
All right, fair enough. Russ, anything that you might be interested in this game between Winnipeg and Detroit?
Not necessarily. I like Detroit a little bit at a plus number, especially with DeBrincat being confirmed in, but it's just not quite enough of an edge for me to play it according to my numbers. It's just a very very small value. Yeah, I'm right on the number, right on market with the total. I have right around 6.5. So there's no play for me there. I think Alber said some smart things about regression coming for Detroit. I think that's inevitable. They've just been playing absolutely insane the last just to start the season. So yeah, I agree there, and I've taken my fair share of Hellebuck's unders the last few years. So can't disagree there either.
All right. Now, Russ will go back to you here on this next game. We're going to go to the Sens Islanders game. Currently seeing this one setting plus 116 on the Senators here. The Islanders minus 125 at home. A total of 6.5. Juice to the under there. Under 6.5 minus 117. On Pinnacle, you can get under 6 plus 110. You look at the over there. Over 6.5 plus 105. Russ, which way would you be leaning towards in this game if you were to get involved at all? Would it be side, total? How would you be looking to play this one?
Yeah, we played the over 6 at minus 110. Now it looks like that's kind of ballooning out this morning. Yeah, I'd probably still play the over 6 at minus 120. Yeah, I would definitely not play over 6.5. Yeah, a few things here. My numbers have this closer to 7 goals. I think that Ottawa is obviously an over team. They have a great offense and fairly middling defense, and they're 5-0 to the over this year. So that's they just score a ton of goals, and they really can't stop anything as well. And I think that Ilya Sorokin he's confirmed in for the Isles, and I think he's just sort of getting priced like the old Sorokin. He just hasn't looked himself to start the year. 47th in goals above expectation. He's given up 12 goals in his last 4 games to start the year. So I think this number is a little bit short. I think it should probably be 6.5 even money both ways, or -110 both ways. So yeah, I took a cheap over 6. Like I said, I probably wouldn't play it much more than over 6 -120. That is actually probably the cutoff there. But I think we could easily see a 3-3 game. Easily see Ottawa getting 4 or more in this game. So yeah, that's the way I'm going to go, is over 6.
Okay, so we do lock in over 6 -120. It's kind of, as Russ says, the capping point there. You see some of these other books moving out to 122 and 130, and then getting into the 6.5 range. So we'll play it at the -120 and cut it off there. Any thoughts for you, Matt, here in this Islanders Senators game?
Yeah, I didn't play anything here. Hate to do this, but I think I would actually play the under here, if anything. I do think there is a little bit of positive regression coming for both goaltenders. I think Ottawa is probably due to come back a little bit offensively as well. I think at this point the number is probably right, so I'm definitely not interested in kind of getting involved in either side. I agree at over 6. Like, I think over 6 -105 is okay. Like, I'm just not overly interested. But yeah, I am a little more cautious when it comes to this total. Again, kind of being that, like, we've seen Sorokin be elite. I think we have for multiple years. Like, I think we have no reason to expect that he doesn't kind of return to that form at some point. So I'm definitely kind of wary of stepping in front of that. But no, I mean, obviously the market definitely agrees with you so far.
All right. Now moving on, another game we got a total in here. The Seattle Kraken Carolina Hurricanes game total currently sitting. It depends where you're looking, but you see 6 juice to the over, -118. The under currently sitting +105. You're seeing some 6.5s now popping up on the board. Matt, which way are you leaning here tonight in this Carolina Seattle game?
Yeah, so Rusty, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was last Thursday where you were the one who played Seattle Carolina under 6 at a minus price.
Yep.
If I'm correct.
Well, he played many Kraken unders this year so far.
So I believe, if I'm correct, the play was Kraken under 6 -110, where you had Joey Daccord in net. Now you're getting these same two teams 7 days later, and you're getting an under 6 at plus money, where I am expecting Philip Grubauer. Strictly just the numbers play. Again, I think it's just this is being very much based on kind of what happened in that game, the fact Carolina hadn't been overly great defensively. I think the fact that the other night they allowed 3 goals, even when it was Peter Kochetkov, is kind of helping to keep the goals up a little bit right now. We've already made all the points for Seattle unders. Obviously, they now lost Burakovsky, who's another kind of hit to their offense here. If anything, I think this should have been kind of even low or more juice to the under than it was at this point last week. Like, I was expecting this to be more like 6 under -120 than 6 over -125. So yeah, I am kind of waiting to see Grubauer. I'd like to see that he's going to play tonight, but yeah, I definitely plan on playing under 6. I believe it's +105. His best price. Maybe I'll find a little better.
Yep, I'm with you. Yeah, I think we should. Odds are we do get Grubauer here. And yeah, traditionally I would be on this game as well, but I have not been able to trust the Hurricanes defense, and their goaltending has just been absolutely awful to start the year. So I lean that way. I'd definitely lean that way if it was closer to 6.5, even -110 both ways. But yeah, I think we can't go wrong with the Kraken under. I've explained multiple weeks in a row how there's a bad offensive team and a fairly good defensive team, especially with Grubauer in net. So I lean the same way.
Yeah, and like kind of talked earlier about some of these like outlying stat metrics that are kind of due to normalize a little bit. The Hurricanes are last in the league in save percentage. And like we've seen for a few years now that their goalies are a lot better than this. Obviously, I don't expect Kochetkov again tonight. He wasn't very good the other night. Like they are due to make a few saves on their end. So yeah. I think this is one of those that I kind of missed it on Seattle last week. I missed it on Washington, just kind of on the wrong nights. Like I can definitely kind of see this being a slower paced game where Carolina's goalies finally have a good game, and the Kraken they're going to struggle to score, I think, a little bit. So yeah, I am very happy to take this under at this price.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Lock that one in. Now we see a ghost pick here. Before I know we have one more final pick that we'll get to, but there's a ghost pick here. So take this for what it's worth, given the hate towards one team and the love towards the other by this guy. But Alex Moretto hopping in saying Ghost pick Stars -4.5. Wall pumpkin game incoming. I don't know what this guy's talking about because the Leafs have the next Carey Price in net there, according to Matt Stomey at least. So I knew that there was going to be some support of the Stars by Moretto here today. It was just going to be too good for him to be able to help himself. His Stars playing against the Leafs, you knew that he had to be involved in that one in some way. But yeah, take that for what it's worth. Now, final game that we do actually have a pick in, a real best bet, none of that fraudulent -4.5 stuff there by Moretto. Final game we'll be looking at, the final game of the night. Matt, your New York Rangers on the road taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton currently sitting +117. You see the Rangers -129, a total of 6 right now. Which side would you be looking to get behind, if any, in this Oilers-Rangers game?
God, this is so gross. Edmonton. I think the number is just leaking a little bit too far at this point. I do think there is a relatively good chance that we see Jonathan Quick here. It seems like he's either going to play tonight or Saturday at Vancouver. It's just kind of a matter of which. Edmonton, like, it's the same old thing for them, right? Like, can they get a save? Can anyone in the net for Edmonton stop the puck? Because they're actually, like, not allowing that many chances against. Like, they're middle of the pack kind of in expected goals against. They're also kind of in the middle in expected goals for. It's just, I don't know. I think this number is getting a little bit too high. I was just trying to think about, like, what the price would be. Like, there's no way Edmonton's a dog here with McDavid. And obviously we kind of talked about, like, that he may be worth like 6, 7, 8%, obviously. So, like, I don't know. I thought this game would be a little closer to pick 'em than it is. The Rangers are obviously kind of in the middle of a West Coast trip. They have been playing well. I don't know. I hate it. It's a small play for me, but I'm going to end up being on Edmonton. It looks like +120 here.
All right. There you go. Final pick of the night locked in there. Before we move on, wrap this thing up. Russ, anything else you were looking at that maybe you were close to, not quite there yet, maybe hoping for numbers to pop up throughout the day, or are we good with where we're at?
Nope, I think we're good. I actually do like that Edmonton pick. I didn't realize that number had moved so much. The Rangers have been playing great, but yeah, I think that number's a little bit off. It probably should be a little bit closer to even money on Edmonton. So I agree there. And then I didn't have Joseph Woll in my numbers starting. So if it is actually Joseph Woll, I think I kind of like a play on the Stars, unfortunately, Zach. My numbers do favor the Stars a little bit with Woll in. I just plugged it in. So I'll be kind of monitoring that. This Stars team has been playing great defense. They just can't really generate anything on offense. And obviously it's exact opposite for the Leafs. So something's got to give here. It's strength against strength. But, that's a ton of plays for me on an 11-game slate to have 4 plays. Traditionally, I like to keep it a little bit tighter than that. But, yeah, if we see Joseph Woll here get confirmed, I wouldn't be surprised to play the Stars at -120.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that it will be Woll going here tonight. So
Okay.
That's kind of where it's leaning towards, and I think he's kind of earned the net after the last couple of games.
Yeah, definitely.
Just as water is wet, it looks like Moretto is actually on Dallas too. So I know that's the surprise too. It's shocking to absolutely nobody whatsoever. Alex Moretto is going to back the Dallas Stars.
Just plays against the Leafs every game.
Yeah, I think that may be like an even bit of a play against the Leafs. And kind of as we speak, it looks like Shane Pinto is being suspended.
Oh yeah, that's another thing about that Oilers game. I wonder what's going to happen with Brady Tkachuk. Is he?
Wow.
I knew he was going to appeal his suspension.
Shane Pinto being suspended for activities related to sports wagering.
Ah, the old degenerate.
Maybe he's a listener of the show.
Yeah, Shane Pinto tuned into Edgework.
Just bets on himself to get a goal every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for today's show. We'll wrap this up, recap all the picks that we've given out here. And again, if you do want to follow along with the picks that we give out and how everything does throughout the year, you can find that in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. So make sure to check that out and head on over there. Now, to recap everything, where we're at for tonight's games, we do have a lot of bets. So bear with us here, and reminder that we did place some different unit sizes throughout on each of these. And so when I say full unit, we're looking at $100 unit size. So remember to keep that in mind as we go through. But starting here, the Kraken, Carolina Hurricanes, we're looking at the under 6 plus 105 full unit there. Now we're gonna have two plays in the Anaheim Ducks Boston Bruins game. First, we're gonna go with a quarter unit, $25 on the Anaheim Ducks plus 268 money line, and then 3/4 unit, $75 on the Anaheim Ducks plus 1.5 plus 107 there. Then we go Colorado Avalanche money line minus 130 full unit. Then we go to the Sharks game plus 1.5 plus 105 3/4 unit. Then we go San Jose Sharks plus 252 money line, quarter unit on that one. Then the Ottawa Senators, New York Islanders game, we're taking the over 6 minus 120 full unit there. The Wild Flyers under 6 plus 105 full unit. The Flyers money line full unit plus 105, and then the Edmonton Oilers money line full unit there plus 117. So those are all the picks for tonight. If you do enjoy the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow us on the BetStamp app. Matt, final thought from you there on the Detroit-Winnipeg game?
Yeah, so I definitely kind of talked about the under. Was a little less wanting to play it with DeBrincat looking in. It looks like he is going to be a true game time decision. I think if I get either Hellebuck or that, I'm willing to go half unit. I think at the current price, under 6, I think you can get a minus 105 somewhere. If DeBrincat is out and Hellebuck is in, I would play that for a full unit. So it's definitely going to be a bit of info watching here, but that's definitely something that I am looking to get on, kind of depending on how the info breaks over the course of the day here.
All right, there you go. If you do enjoy the show, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate that. It does continue to help us grow here and make more content. So we would like to be able to do that. So please hit that like button, subscribe, continue to help support the show. But Russ, Matt, thank you guys for taking the time to do this here today. Matt, hopping in for, what is this, 3 days in a row now? You were here for the marathon day, for the 16 games, here yesterday for the recap, the eulogy, and then here yet again with another massive slate. So I appreciate you doing that. Russ, as always, good to see you. Appreciate you hopping on here, giving us your insight, your best bets. Look forward to seeing you guys yet again next week. And to everyone in the chat, thank you guys so much for tuning in here today. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time for more picks and previews. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets. Let's have a day.